أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسوله أجمعين. Welcome to مجلس العقيدة, or the session on the Islamic creed, the Islamic faith, and we continue inshallah explaining on شرح العقيدة الطحاوية called الطحاوية by Imam الطحاوي. And we have covered so far the first part, Aqidah, usually, which is the most important part, is called Al-Ilahiyat, or things that have to do with Allah or God, the Godhood and Lordship, things pertaining to the concept of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is or is not fit for Allah, the actions of Allah, the God, and then we move on to an-nubuwat, or things pertaining prophets and prophethood, and then we move on to other things that today, inshallah, tonight we will finish al-ilahiyat by talking about the last part, prophecies and prophethood. We continue from where we stopped last time. له معنى الربوبية مخلوق. The meaning of lordship was established for him, for Allah, without servants, and that of a creator without there being any creation. He is the maker. He is the creator سبحانه وتعالى. هذا الاسم قبل إحيائهم كذلك استحق اسم الخالق قبل إنشائهم. Gave them life. He deserved this name before being the creator, before the creation. It's not because he made us that he is called the maker or creator, but he is always a creator. قدير وكل شيء إليه فقير وكل أمر عليه إليه يسير سميع البصير. This is because he has power over everything, whereas everything is dependent. He does not stand in need of anything. There is nothing all-seeing. عز وجل سبحانه وتعالى. I think we already covered that before. خلق الخلق بعلمه. Experimenting, he was not trying. There was a design. There was an. It's like, think of it as an engineer or as a building, that there was kind of designing an outline for this building, designed by an engineer, and then there was an execution design or outline that came from the engineers and architect, and then that was designed in the same way. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created of everything that is going to happen. So think of somebody putting an airport. We are establishing or constructing an airport, something that's very sophisticated or compound of so many aspects and factors. It does not just come as you go. It is not to bring some construction people and say, well, let's think of it as we go in. It doesn't go this way. You put the full outline of the whole thing before you make it. Take the example, the past, always they call it the dam or the cursed. They have there's a lot of corruption around it, and there's a lot of things that happen to do the right designing first and then bring or put in the first place. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is his qadr, by the way, or part of his qadr. Qadr or predetermination, knowledge of Allah. So Allah has the knowledge of what is going to be designed for everything. And part of that design, which is those creatures. So part of his design of the whole thing, the creatures, the power to choose. خلق الخلق بعلمه, with his knowledge. That is, non-Muslims think, and even some of the very small sects of Muslims, they, as he's going, as it's happening. That is everything according to the knowledge. He said in the Quran, مفاتح الغيب لا يعلمها إلا no one knows the البحر. He knows what's in the land, in the sea. وما تسقط من ورقة إلا يعلمها ولا حبة في ظلمات الأرض إلا في كتاب مبين. Not a grain is there in the dark of the earth, nor a fresh thing or withered, but it is recorded in a clear book. It is He who takes away your souls by the night and knows what you do by the day. وهو الذي يتوفاكم بالليل ويعلم ما جرحتم بالنهار. This ayah, this verse gives us an idea of the knowledge of Allah, and that it is encompassing of everything, wrapping everything, getting everything, and into everything, nothing that happens without His knowledge. وقدر لهم أقدارا. He decreed for them a decree. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already the full design. Think of it as the full design. You know, you cannot say the engineer did that or designed this. Well, if a problem happened later on, the engineer expected, obviously they don't have the knowledge of the future, they don't have the knowledge of the unseen, but they might expect something may happen in here. What if somebody attacks the airport? Then they have some system to lock everything. The point is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed the whole system and designed some creatures who will have a free will. They will cause some corruption. He knows of what they are going to cause. Think of it as a police who is watching the criminal as he is doing through a surveillance camera as they are doing it. Their knowledge of the action as it is happening, or even before it happens, does not dictate the action, or does not, the criminal cannot come later on and say, oh, you were watching me, you were knowing about it, you knew about it before, as it was happening, or before it was happening, and you are part of the crime. No, Allah does not dictate. It's a little different in here, even though He knows everything, and everything is going not against what he plans, but it's against what He approves. The bad things that may happen. It's against if somebody does something against the law, even though the law has some tools to know what people are thinking. Let's go to the future. Now they have surveillance cameras, whatever. But what if, I was watching this video the other day, what if some serial criminals They have certain areas in their mind. They were looking at this person who was committed so many sexual assaults and murder of so many people. He raped the woman and then he killed them, like 17 or 20 of them, I forgot. And they looked at certain part in his brain and he was like going in red. What if they discovered, if they come up with some experiment, not experiment, some testing of so many people, and they come up with some kind of knowledge that if you have this part, if it's even there, if you have this part in your brain, or it shows these symptoms or whatever they might see in some of those images, you will have the tendency, or you will definitely or most likely do something against the law. Now, having this knowledge, you cannot execute people. You cannot come and just catch somebody before doing the action. That's a good example in here. Allah knows what is the tendency of people, or what exactly are they going to choose, but it is them who choose that. Even though Allah facilitates this way for those who do good, and also warns you against the other way. Now you choose to go whichever way. That is your choice, that you should be responsible for. Allah said in the Quran, وَخَلَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ فَقَدَّرَهُ تَقْدِيرًا. He created everything, then He determined it with a perfect determination. Think of the design again of the whole building, of the whole airport, and then everything comes 100% according to this design. إِنَّا كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَاهُ بِقَدَرٍ. Verily, we created everything in a just proportion. Think of the balance and the creation of Allah and so on. وَضَرَبَ لَهُمْ آجَالًا. And He appointed for them a term that they will live in here, ajal. Everybody that would go up to their ajal, up to their term, up to their life, or term in this life. مَا كَانَ لِنَفْسٍ أَن تَمُوتَ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ كِتَابًا مُؤَجَّلًا. This is Surah Al Imran, verse 145. It is not for soul to die save by the will of Allah. Verse 145. وَضَرَبَ لَهُمْ آجَالًا لم يخف عليه شيء قبل أن يخلقهم وعلم ما يعملون قبل أن يخلقهم. And He knew what they were going to do even before He had created them. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the knowledge of everything, part of His qadr, and He written and recorded everything that will happen because He's God. Because He is God. That does not dictate anything on anybody. If the police is watching, if you're watching somebody doing something wrong as they are doing it, that your knowledge of it does not mean you dictate that on them. وَأَمَرَهُمْ بِطَاعَتِهِ وَنَهَاهُمْ عَنْ مَعْصِيَتِهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He ordered them order them His obedience and forbid them His disobedience. Allah ordered people to obey Him. Now, being a God, being the most wise, He does not order something that is impossible for you to do. He does not forbid you from something that is impossible for you, that's already written on you, that you are already destined for it. You're not destined for anything. You shape your destiny. Allah knows about your choices. That is kind of, yes, it's problematic for humans to understand or to fully get a grasp of, but it does not dictate. It is your actions. Otherwise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be not wise or doesn't deserve to be just. حاشاه سبحانه وتعالى. وكل شيء يجري بتقديره. Everything runs on its determined course by His will, like the outline or the design by the engineer, executed exactly according to that taqdir or that outline. ومشيئته تنفذ. لا مشيئة للعباد إلا ما شاء لهم فما شاء لهم كان وما لم يشأ لم يكن. His will is executed and not the will of His servants, save for what He approves for them. Therefore, what He wishes for them came into existence, and what He did not. Meaning, nothing happens in this universe against The will of Allah. Now we have to differentiate between the will and the approval. The will of Allah does not mean approval. He might will something, or something happens according to his will, does not mean his approval. Like he knows of it. He does not approve of it. He let it happen, but he does not approve of it. Like you see your child doing something and you let him do it. It's not according to your approval, maybe for a reason that he will learn something, or he will not come back. He will see the consequences of it and he will not come back to it. يهدي من يشاء ويعصم ويعافي فضلا ويضل من يشاء ويخذل ويبتلي عدلا. He guides whom he will, protects and safeguards by his grace. He sends astray whom he will, humiliates and subjects to tribulation, following the rules of his justice. Everything good, anything good that happens to us, it's not because we deserve it. It's a pure mercy and grace, and from the bounty of Allah. It's a pure grace from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because think about it this way, this is a very important concept. No one of the human beings deserves anything against Allah. No one. Not even prophets. Not even prophets. Because simply He made us from zero to here, from the scratch. Allah created all of us and is supporting all of us and is sustaining all of us and is maintaining all of us. And we are all His subject. We all belong to Him. Our flesh is from Him. Our hair is from Him. Our tongue, our thoughts, our speaking, capabilities to do anything, skills, us being able to think or talk. It's all from Him. We did not make it. We did not make it. Even us acquiring knowledge, learning a new skill, it is because of what He put in us and what He has enabled us. Give us the air to live, the water, the condition, the circumstances, the body, the life itself, the knowledge to learn. He gave us everything. If He wanted to destroy and wipe out everything, it's for Him. And it's not going to be zulm or oppression or even bad. It's not bad. If Allah wipes out everything, cause destruction to everything, we're not saying this just because we believe in Him. It's because this is the reality of it. I have this cup, it's mine. You might see it as something, as beautiful cup. I can destroy it right now. I can throw it in the garbage right now. And it's not going to be anything bad on my side. I choose to do what I want in my property. This being and it's even different with Allah, because this being my property, I put some money in it. Somebody else will see it as a waste. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's no one else to judge Him. He can do whatever He wants because He made all of that with His order, with His command. Take that concept, because it will help us a lot to really realize who we are versus Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are total servants of Allah. If He give us all Jannah, that's from His, or heaven, that is from His mercy and pure grace and bounty. If He, God forbid, put everybody, even prophets, in the fire of hell, He's not going to be making dhulm or oppression against them. It's just His property, His creation. But He sets the rules for Himself. He sets the rules for Himself out of His mercy and wisdom. Nothing happened for no reason. Not because He has to follow this way. Because some sects, they say, yes, He has to do what's perfect. He has to do what's right. He has to do, facilitate guidance for him. No, He doesn't have to do any of that. Because if He does the opposite of all of that, He is not making dhulm or oppression to anybody, simply because no one deserved life in the first place. I hope that concept is clear. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does all of that. If He punishes somebody, it is because that's His justice. This person did what made him deserve to be punished. No one who deserves, according to the rules of justice, no one who deserves to be rewarded, that Allah will punish. No one, but He might let go of some of those who deserve to be punished, but out of His bounty, He will just let go. He can do that. Let's agree that He can do whatever He want to do with His creation, because He is the owner of all of that. وَكُلُّهُمْ يَتَقَلَّبُونَ فِي مَشِيئَتِهِ بَيْنَ فَضْلِهِ وَعَدْلِهِ. All of them, all the creation of Allah, all of them turn about following His will, moving between His grace and justice. The true servants, those prophets, look at them, praying to Allah, doing the best, dedicating their whole life for Allah, yet they are in awe, they are in fear, they are in kind of questioning, Ya Allah, is that enough? Can you show me mercy? They humble. The more they do, the more humble they become. Not the other way around like we do. You think you did something, you think without doing anything you deserve. Just counting on the mercy of God. The mercy of God is there, but you forget that you have to work for it, and Allah doesn't owe you anything. Allah does not owe you anything. We owe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala everything. We owe Him our life, our guidance, our eyes, our everything. That's why we have to humble ourselves and worship Him, that He might show us His grace and bounty, or continue to. وهو متعال عن الأضداد والأنداد. He is exalted above antagonists and equals that might aspire. Allah has no contender and no one is similar to Him. He said, وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. And there is none comparable to Him. No one comparable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why you don't judge Him by the rules that you judge others with, because no one is really mounting to be, or can mount to be, a God. لا راد لقضائه ولا معقب لحكمه ولا غالب لأمره. There is no repeller of His decree, no one to postpone His command, nor is there anyone to overcome His order. Whatever He wills, it will be. None, no one, no power can stop the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from coming or from happening. آمنا بذلك كله وأيقنا أن كلا من عنده. We believe in all this and are certain that everything originates from Him by His command. Everything originates by His command subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we believe in all of that. Everything is coming from Him. By this we finish al-ilahiyat, or the section that has to do with the information or the faith or the creed of Muslims as it should be in Allah. The concept of Allah, who is Allah, how do we believe in Him, how did He make the world, what are the parameters and rules of Him dealing with the world, our concept of who He is versus the world versus the creation, actions of the people, knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all of that. By this, inshallah, we come to the end of this circle or session. Next time, inshallah, we will start from وَأَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ الْمُصْطَفَى وَنَبِيُّهُ الْمُجْتَبَى وَرَسُولُهُ الْمُرْتَضَى. This section has to do with prophecy, prophethood, and nubuwwat, and how do we believe in Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the rest of the prophets, and what is that part exactly in the aqidah, or in the faith, in the system of faith of Muslims. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan, barakallahu feekum, may Allah bless you. Stay under the care of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.